customer and project, it's important to look at your settings. Settings are really the controls of how things are handled within your project. There's two different places to do that, but they both have the exact same data. The difference is up here to the right is a project settings, but it's for the application. So if I make changes in here, every time I come into a new customer, new project, it's going to take these default settings. It's for the application. But if I want to, within this project, change some settings, I click on project and I click on settings. You're going to see it's the exact same information, but now I'm changing it for this project. And I want to do it before I set up the structure and before I bring in um, current state devices, because these elements could impact that. I'll quickly go through these, but realize there's a lot of tweaking and tuning that can go on here. The first thing is preset values. We have depreciation periods. So we have different depreciation for different types of devices. So you may want changes depending on what your client does as far as depreciation. Periods of use, that's how long the device would have a realistic lifetime. If you click this off, then you would change those things. But if I click individual period of use, it's going to do it based on what that depreciation was. Purchase calculation. Um, when we calculate volumes, we look at multiple meter reads, but we also could look at the launch date of the product. So to figure out to calculate a install date if we don't have one, we would use the market launch date plus some amount of months. And again, you can tweak that and change that to the best that it works for you. And then consumables, we can have a default coverage by color and mono. You can get very granular on this, but I could change this at this point. And then any discounts or surcharges. The common tab, this is what am I going to use for my pricing. Am I going to use recommended price, market price, dealer price? Same thing for future. And I can tweak different dates here. The currency is very important. Make sure you have the right currency. Capturing is what information is going to be shown when I use my Capture IT. So what's going to be shown when I set up my current state. You can go in and change this as you go, but again, it's nice to do it right up front. Important thing here is I've got user-defined fields, and you would want to set these up to begin with. I could change that, for instance, to an asset tag. You could change it to whatever's unique for that engagement. We have 10 of those, and you can click as to whether you want to show them or not. The site, so what information you show regarding the site, volumes, etc. So we can go through that. Really, it's important the user-defined ones to understand how to do that. And then if you just jump around here, you'll see what you're able to capture, turn on or off. When you have people out doing your data collection, you don't want to present them too many fields because that can get confusing. So that's important. Green IT, my sales drive has a whole environmental capability. So whether I'm going to use tech, whether I'm going to consider air conditioning, cost of kilowatt would definitely change from geography to geography. And then we have a whole big set of environmental factors that are used to calculate the energy impact. So, I mean, just it sounds silly, but how heavy is an average tree? By changing that, you can really change like how much paper is consumed, etc. Or how many trees are consumed by your client's activity. TCO calculation, um, what you want to have included in that TCO, again, very important. Um, do I want energy separate from my TCO? Do I want paper separate? All things you can tweak in that. Measurement units, in this case, they're American measurement units, but depending where you are, you can change that. So you can see I've got a wide variety of different ways I could represent that. And the same thing with the paper. Um, in European, I'm going to have I'm going to have A4 versus inches in the US. Scope, how many days I have in a week, not in a week, but how many work days per year, normal default number of employees, and what my hourly rate is. Again, that can be tweaked. And then similarly, information for paper usage, current state, future state. So I've got some default. I could default the duplex. So that's an important one to look at. Maintenance, what I'm paying to do work on this. Again, it depends on how your pricing is. Um, Rates for maintenance for administration, if you're going to get that detailed in your TCO, and the same thing with dealer. And then what I display on my floor plan. So when we show you the floor plan, we can have labels, and this is how you change what's going to appear on those labels. So if I want to show serial number, for instance, on a label, I would just click it here and change it, and it would show up on that. The default radius, that really works with walk distance. So you want to scale your floor plans, and then you would change this radius to, let's say, 3 yards, 9 feet, and we'll show a radius around our device. So show you how far 3 yards, 9 feet is circumference from that device. So if walk distance is of concern, it's really nice to be able to show that.